And now, it's All That.
Ow, ow, ow. This is All That. This is All That. Check it. Now this is just an introduction. Before I blow your mind, the show is All That. And yes, we do it all the time. So sit your booty on the floor or in a chair. Ground her in the air. Just don't go nowhere. Cause everything we do, it's All That. When entertaining you, it's All That. My posse and my crew, it's All That. So sit still cause we're coming right back. This is All That. Check it.
Hello everyone and welcome to the season premiere of Owl That. I'm Scott LaFontaine.
And I'm Megan Olszewski. We have a fantastic show planned for you tonight with a brand new segment here on Owl That called Jenny's Kitchen.
And in addition to that, we have SCSU TV member Ben hosting his very own film review show.
And rounding out the program, we have two Southern students returning to SCSU TV, Eric Stanzel and Wes Benjunas from the pop-punk alternative band Sunday Morning.
Speaking of Southern students, this year, SCSU students will be celebrating Southern's 125th anniversary. SCSU TV decided to celebrate the university's anniversary by testing some students about their knowledge on Southern trivia. On the mean streets of SCSU, trying to find people who will answer some Southern trivia for me. Sir, would you like to answer some Southern trivia? No? Thank you anyways. We're striking out here, folks. We're striking out here. How's it going? I'm here with...
They call me Jay.
I'm Jamal.
Bellady.
Deja.
Jolyn.
Amy Rodriguez.
Josh.
Crystal.
I'm here today with...
George.
I'm here today with Evan. All right, Josh, are you ready to play some Southern trivia?
Hell yeah.
All right, Josh. Now this is one that you should easily know the answer to because you're standing right in front of the building. You're standing right in front of the Bewley Library, and I want you to tell me, what is the full name of Bewley Library? Don't look back and look, though. I want to know the full name of Bewley Library.
I have no idea. Literally can't tell you.
The Hilton C. Bewley Library. Hilton C.
See, if I looked back, I would have gotten it.
This one's a really easy one. There's banners, there's celebrations going on. What year anniversary is Southern celebrating this year?
I think it's 25.
125.
125 is your final answer?
Yeah.
I think it's 125 years.
125th?
25th anniversary? Are you locking that question in? What anniversary is Southern celebrating this year?
Man, I just.
I know it's a hard one. 12?
Yeah.
12? The correct answer is 125. You were close. You were close, but not close enough.
125th.
I'm not. 125.
125 is your final answer?
Final answer.
That is correct. 125, that is the correct answer. All right, now here's another tough one. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
What is the name of the SCSU mascot, and how do you spell his name?
He's an owl.
It's an owl.
That is correct.
I don't know his name.
You want to phone for help on this one?
Yeah, I do.
What is our mascot's name?
I have no idea.
No idea?
Neither do I.
His name is Otis. Otis the owl.
O-D-I-S.
O-T-I-S.
Otis.
Otis. Now, how do you spell Otis?
O-T-T-I-S.
O-T-T-I-S? You're locking that in?
O-T-T-T-I-S.
Vanos.
Is that your final answer?
No. But for now, to save time, let's say yes. That's my final answer.
The correct answer is Otis. Otis the owl.
Otis, yeah.
All right.
Want me to try and spell Otis?
Could you spell it?
Otis. I'm gonna say O-U-D-I-S.
O-U-D-I-S?
Yeah.
Correct answer is O-T-I-S.
O-T.
Otis.
Okay.
What used to be in the location where Farnham is now?
Programming space?
Was it a garage?
I'll give you a hint. It's an October activity. It's something you would do in October.
Hallway?
Haunted hallway?
Yeah, maybe. And like a haunted trail of terror, maybe?
Apples?
Apple. Oh, you're getting help from over here. That is the correct answer, though. An apple orchard.
What used to be
What
there?
used to be there years and years ago.
Because it's October, I'm gonna say a cemetery.
I have no idea.
I can give you a hint if you like.
Sure.
Think like October fall activities. What's a place you might go to with a loved one or with a family friend or?
A cemetery?
A lot of people have said that. But that is not the correct answer.
Can I have a hint?
It's what was there is someplace that you would most of the time go in the fall season. Maybe with like a girl or your family, or it's a certain type of fall place. You think fall places, and it's one of the places you think of.
Is it a park?
Think fall activities, Josh. Come on, Josh. Think October activities.
All I think about October is pumpkin picking and like that kind of stuff.
It's close. It's close.
Was it a farm?
Close.
Something like a pumpkin patch or something.
Think pumpkin patch, but not pumpkin patch. Think close to pumpkin.
Was
patch.
it the school garden?
Kind of a garden? Maybe a different kind.
I have no idea.
It was an apple orchard.
We had an apple orchard.
Where Farnham Hall used to be, actually, or where Farnham Hall is now, used to actually be an apple orchard.
Where? That's cool.
So pretty much the new science building has a rain harvester that collects rainwater, and the water is repurposed all throughout campus. So my question for you today is, how many gallons of water does this rain harvester hold?
I remember learning about this.
10 gallons? The water is repurposed all throughout campus for various uses. Maybe a little higher.
Over 9,000.
9,000?
I'm just taking a shot in the
I don't know, like 200?
200?
More than 3.
More than 3 gallons?
More than 3.
The correct answer is 40,000 gallons of water.
And that is more than 3.
That is more than 3. Thank you for playing today.
I'm going to say 200 gallons.
200 gallons, you're locking in that answer? The correct answer is 40,000 gallons of water.
Bro, I was so far off. Oh, God.
You were close. Not close enough, but you were close. Thank you for playing Southern Trivia today. Thank you.
I think the students learned a lot from that segment.
I definitely agree, because I know, like, I learned a lot, and I know Sebastian, who helped film the video for me. I know both of us learned a lot, and even like you and Cassie, who helped me like come up with questions. A lot of stuff like we didn't know. Like, I didn't know about the apple orchard where Farnham is. I didn't know about like the rain harvester where the science building is.
40,000 gallons.
40,000 gallons is a lot, and
That
most
is a
people weren't even close to that when they were guessing.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I was surprised that no one knows our mascot's name. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like that's one of the most basic questions. Like,
And then like 4 letters, and nobody could spell it either.
that blows my mind.
But honestly, like, even when I was coming up with that question, I had to think to myself for a second. I was like, is it OTUS or is it OTIS?
It is OTIS.
I know now for sure.
All right, well, speaking of questions, Southern students often ask questions about how they can cook quick meals on campus. So this season on Owl That, our very own eBoard member, Genevieve, will be showing students just how to do it.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and you're watching Jenny's Kitchen. Today, I'm going to be showing you some affordable, easy, and delicious ways to make home-cooked meals right in your dorm. For ingredients, we're going to be using Heinz tomato ketchup, B&M baked beans, but only in the maple flavor. This is very important. A half-full box of rigatoni, and who could forget a slice of Susie's birthday cake. First things first, you're going to want to grab a big saucepan, put it right on the table. Next thing, you're going to add the rigatoni. Only add about half of the already half-empty box. Perfect. Now, we're going to add some ketchup. Remember when you're opening it? Well, let's see if we can get a different one. That's better. You're going to want to add the water juice, that delicious water juice that comes out before, and just kind of smear it all over. Perfect. I can already smell it cooking from here, and it smells delicious. Now, the next step is to add the pound of maple flavored, remember it's maple, the B&M baked beans. You're going to want to first, obviously, open the top. And they're normally really easy to get off. You're going to use the little indentation you've just created perfectly on the top. And again, you want a lot of the juice. Oh, perfect. And you really don't even want that much beans. You just want a lot of the maple juice. Now that you've had that, you're gonna give it a nice swirl. We're not gonna use any utensils yet to mix. This is really natural, and you want to use your fingers last for this one. So now that we're at the cake, what we're gonna do is first grab the cake part. Let's just move this right here. And honestly, at this part, you really just wanna mix it all up. Add it. It's already cooking right now without heat. And it's really gonna be, you want this to be really al dente. So really, look at that, perfect. And now you're just gonna keep mixing. Oh, the smell is fantastic. I can't wait, I already wanna eat it. So now that you've been mixing for a good 5 to 10 seconds, it's already gonna be ready to try. So let's give it a little taste. Just like how Mom used to make it. The food tastes delicious. Now it's all about the presentation on the plate. So let's turn, get our plate. Preferably a nice shade of red, which would look really beautiful with the cooked pasta. So you're gonna wanna take the full meal. You can see how fluid it is, and just put a little serving on the plate. Let's take a look at how it came out. Beautiful. I think the color does look absolutely wonderful with the red. Shall we give it a taste? Just like Grandpappy used to make. Well, looks like another perfectly cooked meal here on Jenny's Kitchen. Well, join us next week when we cook the perfect cherry pie. This is Jenny, signing off.
Well, now I'm craving mac and cheese. I can't wait to go home and make some later.
I might not do it the way that she did it.
Yeah.
I can recall when my grandma made mac and cheese. I don't think she made it the way that Genevieve made it.
Yeah,
but
I think she could qualify for a show on Worst Cooks in America, maybe.
I might agree. It looked good at the end, though.
Exactly, it is the final product
did look good
that
at the
matters the most.
So on previous seasons of Owl That, we had a film review show hosted by Matt St. Clair. This season, Ben Palmieri will be introducing a brand new film review series, and this week he'll be looking at Venom.
Hi, my name is Ben Palmieri, and today I will be reviewing Venom, which is directed by Ruben Fleischer and stars Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, and Riz Ahmed. It follows the story of Eddie Brock, a failed journalist who becomes in contact with an alien symbiote and must now adjust his life accordingly to this dangerous new world. Initially going into it, I was a bit skeptical because Sony was making it and they're an incompetent movie studio and they wanted to make their own cinematic universe like what Marvel's doing, but without Spider-Man, which is kind of hard because Venom is Spider-Man's greatest villain. And it was initially supposed to be rated R, and then they changed it to PG-13 so more people could go to see it, and it was a fun movie. It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. It was funnier, too. The dynamic between Eddie and the symbiote Venom was really, really good. It was kind of reminded me of like a buddy cop movie, like Beverly Hills Cop. And it was the second half was where it picked up. It takes a while to get going, but once he gets the thing, the symbiote, it starts to gain momentum. It has its flaws. Some of the dialogue is pretty weird. The villain, played by Riz Ahmed, is very Elon Muskish, and it just doesn't work because his one motivation is just to get Eddie, to get the alien back, and that's his one line of dialogue that he just keeps repeating over and over again. There's no depth. It's not a bad movie. It's more of like a superhero movie you'd see made in the early 2000s. It's not on par with the movies that we're getting now, like The Avengers or Captain America or The Dark Knight or Wonder Woman. It's its own thing. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. if you go into it like that, don't go into it expecting an R-rated, like a horror film, because you'll be very disappointed. If you go into it just with your expectations like floor level, expect nothing, you'll like it. And the R rating thing is something I wanted to touch on. If this movie was rated R, it would have been a lot better, because there's scenes in it that when Venom is just killing people, throwing them around, where I was watching and I was going, yeah, they wanted to do more with this, but they were clamped down by the studio because, like I said before, Sony is terrible and doesn't deserve to make movies. I thought it was going to be longer, but it really wasn't. So that's positive too. Tom Hardy, it's odd. Tom Hardy is such a good actor that no one knows about because his face is always covered. Like you see him, he played Bane. He was in Mad Max. He was in Dunkirk. And he's good in this. It's odd. He has this accent that he does that's it works for the movie. But if it was in another superhero movie, like say it was in a Spider-Man sequel, it wouldn't have worked. It took some getting used to, but you get used to it. And that's because Tom Hardy, I think he's such a good actor and he's so likable that it works. If it was any other actor, it wouldn't. If it was like Topher Grace from Spider-Man 3, it wouldn't have worked at all. The effects are very good, especially the symbiote Venom himself, the goo. It's pretty realistic. There's sometimes I would have changed some things. There's a fight at the end of the movie where the theater was pitch black. I couldn't tell what was going on. It was just a bunch of blobs throwing themselves at each other. There was no distinction between who was fighting who, and I was just bored. So, to sum everything up, it is a good guilty pleasure movie. It's fun. The dynamic between Venom and Eddie Brock is very funny, but sometimes it's hampered down by the PG-13 rating, the bad villain, and a very boring first act. So if I were to rate it, I would give it a 7 out of 10, but it's not something you need to rush to go see.
That was a lot of fun. I'm happy to see film reviews back on the SSU TV channel.
Yeah, me too, and I haven't seen Venom, so based on that, I'm definitely going to go check it out.
Yeah, I definitely might check it out. Are you kind of into the Sony Marvel universe?
I am, but I would say I'm more Marvel than Sony.
I would definitely agree with you.
You know, Sony has, crapped on a lot, but I definitely want to check it out. It looks interesting. I like Tom Harding, right? Tom Hardy,
yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
He was really good as Bane, so definitely.
People always joke that every movie he's in, his face is covered. But
Ben actually talks about that in the video, that he's such a good actor, and he's actually like a pretty good looking dude too.
Yeah, he is.
So like the fact that in all his movies his face is covered, it's kind of like funny.
Yeah, it's ironic. It's funny you mentioned being back on SCSU TV, because coming up next we have 2 Southern students returning to SCSU TV to talk to us about their pop-punk alternative rock band, Sunday Morning.
I'm pleased to welcome back to SCSU TV Eric Stanzel and Wes Benjunas from the band Sunday Morning.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for having us today.
It's been probably a pretty busy few months for you guys. Let's hear about it a little bit.
Definitely been busy.
Yeah.
A lot of planning and stuff, stuff we're not used to. We're used to just throwing stuff out there and getting feedback, but we did a lot of planning in these last couple months for our new EP.
Yeah, we put a lot of time and effort, thought, a lot of discussion on what went into what we decided to put out.
So tell me about, in all honesty, when did recording process first start? When did it finish? How quickly did you guys write and record the songs?
So for writing the songs, it was kind of like a long process. We kind of just probably, I want to say 4 months before we actually even thought about going into a studio to record them. We would just bring them to practice and work them out and try to get a general feel for what we were going to record. We booked studio time when July 5th.
Yeah.
July 5th is when we first booked the studio and we went in there. We were in there for 5 days, 5 songs, 5 days, and it was a really good experience. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we we cranked them out when we first got there, because we played the songs that are on the EP. We played them out for months, and we got them really really drilled into our heads. So once we got to the studio, we were ready, and the rest was just smooth sailing.
So tell me about the songwriting process. Do you guys like kind of write individually and then present it to the group, and you guys build on it? Is it more of just like a jam, write session? Tell me about how the songs kind of got written for the new EP.
So usually we'll just take either Dan, the other guitarist and singer, or I we'll just write something on acoustic guitar. You know, very basic skeleton of a song, and we'll bring it to Eric and Parker, and you know, get the drums and bass in there, and then we'll start working on stuff. And you know, we really just like feed off each other a lot in practice, and that's where a lot of the good ideas come.
Definitely. Well, I know Speedway, the first track, that was off of a jam.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it really just does depend. I know that the majority of the songs were mostly written beforehand, and then they were brought. I always like to say that they were first created. The songs were created pretty much by Dan and Wes, but they really got brought to life when the whole band got together and added their feedback. But I know Speedway, we just started vibing. I think we were just waiting.
We were waiting for someone. Someone was late to practice, and
then it just turned into a vibe, and like we really like this, so we decided to put it on. It's one of my favorite songs, at least. Yeah.
Definitely. So tell me about, like, have you ever seen a Speedway, the opening track on the EP? One of the things I kind of talked to you guys about behind the scenes a little bit was the production was so well. Like, compared to your other EPs, it sounded so so professional, so clean. The panning and the lefts and the right was something I like really enjoyed, especially with headphones on. Mm-hmm. Tell me, was that kind of like a producer's idea? Was that something you guys had in mind while you were like creating the song? Was it something in the studio that came up?
Yeah, so we went to Voodoo Studios for that reason, because we knew that they had a lot of good engineers there and guys who really knew what they were doing. With Speedway, we really wanted to capture a lot of ambiance. So we used a lot of effect pedals that, you know, pan from left to right in our stereo. And it was mostly, I want to say, Frank, the producer, who really put those into place. But, you know, we just had a general idea of that we wanted it to be a very ambient song. So that's how that came about.
Yeah, I will say, at least with one track, for that one time Parker cried, I know our original idea during the breakdown to have two separate guitars playing, because we have two guitarists, we wanted to capitalize on that. Especially, it'd be really a cool live performance if we were to have one of them play one half of a part and the other one play the other half of the part. It would sound really cool, so you can get that same headphone sensation live. And it was really cool to bring that to the track and make it sound really sick, because I know a lot of people enjoy that part.
So do you guys have a personal favorite, whether it be to listen to or whether it was to record?
I want to say my favorite to record was definitely Outgrow, mainly because at the end of the song we did a lot of oscillations, which are you get feedback from your guitar and your amp, and then you run it through a delay pedal, and then you mess around with the feedback. There's a feedback knob and a time for delay, and we did a lot of, that's also another thing that the producer Frank helped us a lot with. But we were able to capture a lot of cool and kind of like eerie sounds through that, and that was definitely my favorite part of the recording process for that.
Yeah, I think for me, probably Speedway, because it was the first song that I decided to track. I think we just went in order of the way the EP is. And it was the first song, and it was a new place, and they were very, very professional. And I had all these guys like setting up my drum set. I was like, I've never had to do this before. There was like at least like 20 mics around me or something, and this wall, like a curtain. It was weird. So I was a little intimidated, honestly. But once I started, and finished tracking Speedway, I was like, all right, like I'm ready. Like let's do the rest of this. And so I think, recording that is probably my most favorite experience out of all of it.
So you kind of talked about like ambiance, and that's one thing I noticed about the album is the sound is it's kind of differing from your previous two EPs. Was that something you guys wanted to do, or like it's kind of less pop punky feel? I feel like.
Yeah, that's something we've always wanted to stray away from, is the kind of pop punk umbrella. But
it's in our blood, though.
Yeah, it definitely is.
We can't avoid it. No matter how hard we try, it's going to be there, because all our influences are off of it.
Yeah.
So we could try, but it'll never leave us.
Yeah, pretty much. But we really wanted to, step outside of our comfort zone and really try to write songs that are challenging to us and still fun to play and listen to.
Definitely like more original to us. Like I say a lot, like the past 2 EPs was a lot of us getting through our imitation phase. Like we want to sound like this band, or we want to sound like that band, and this EP really sets our standard for what we want to try to sound like.
So would you say for future EPs, could we expect to sound like this, or do you think you'll evolve more?
We'll constantly evolve.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always down to try new things. You know, new sounds. Like I love guitars in general and amps and different pedals. I'm always buying new pedals, which is terrible because I lose a lot of money. But I'm always down to try new things. So I think we'll always stay close to our roots and our structures and stuff like that. But I'm always down to try new things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're always in a creative process. In a band, you're in a creative environment, and it's a very accepting environment. If someone wants to do this that's completely different, we're going to hear them out and we're going to make it work. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't. It gets scrapped and something else comes up and we're like, oh my God, I'm so glad we did this instead of that, because that was a terrible idea. So, yeah.
So do you guys, I know for your previous EPs, and so for your first one you did a music video for Collectively, and then you also did one for 10 Years. Can we expect music videos from In All Honesty?
Yeah, definitely. We're just trying to figure out which one, what song we want to do. Honestly, we pretty much have the person we're going to go to. We have our budget. We just want to get enough feedback from everybody else to know what song they want, pretty much.
So which promotion of the album for the EP look like? Do you guys have any shows coming up that viewers of SASU TV can come check you out at?
Yeah, we have a show coming up November 11th at the Webster Underground in Hartford. It's a unplugged show, so we're going to be playing acoustic guitars, and it's going to be a little different from our normal live setting, but it's just something to try, and we're really excited to step outside of our comfort zones and really show that we could do other things other than just playing really loud the whole time.
Yeah, and I know we have plenty of other shows that are going to be lined up and are lined up, and if anybody wants to check it out, our social medias are always up to date on our shows.
So where can fans buy the new EP, In All Honesty? Where can fans pick this up or listen to it on streaming services?
Yeah, so it's available on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Play, Tidal, like a whole bunch of other ones through the distribution that we use. And really for selling the CDs, you could just message our band page, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's at Sunday Morning CT, or hit up me and Eric. We'll be selling $5.
Sell them out of the trunk of our cars.
Well, Wes and Eric, I want to thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you back on SASU TV, and can't wait to check out the show at the Webster Underground, and I hope viewers of SASU TV do the same.
Definitely.
So for Scala Fontaine, Megan, Wes, Eric, thank you for watching SASU TV. Thank you for watching All of That, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
This is all that. This is all.